Hi friends, it is me Stace. For today's video we'll be using our Cricut to make this really fun fancy fold card. You can kind of see it there. I did add a greeting on the outside of the card, but it does stand up. It definitely has that wow factor and very easy to do. Let's go to the computer and we'll get started. Alright friends, here we are at the computer. I'm already inside at Cricut Design Space and we're going to go along with these categories. So on the far right, click on that arrow until we get to the card making category, which is right there. I'm going to click on that. In the search box at the very top, I'm going to type in fancy fold and then click on enter. Make sure you're under the projects tab. And the card we are making is this one right there. It's the Easter fancy fold. Go ahead and click on that. It'll bring up a preview. At the very bottom on the right hand side, click on where it says edit a copy. That's going to take you inside the design space area. And all of our card pieces are here as well. Alright, so what I want to do is delete these two flowers. So I'm going to click on them and then choose delete. This text here I will delete. This piece and also these panels I'm going to delete as well. We'll make our own panels. And then this piece I'm going to right click and choose detach and just use that outer layer, and I'll delete the rest of the pieces by highlighting them and then hitting delete. Now we have these pieces here. They actually go onto the inside of the card like that. These pieces are designed for the back of the card. I don't want to use them, so I'm going to delete those as well. So now we have this piece. I'm going to right click on that and choose duplicate. So now we have two of them. And this one I want to make for the back of the card because this is where our greeting's going to go. This way, if you want to write a special greeting, you can do that on this piece here. So I'm going to bring this piece up. And then I'm going to just bring it up right below that score line there. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, go to my top toolbar, unlock the lock where the size is, and then just drag it down until you think it fits that spot. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good there. Alright, so now as I said, we're going to cut to these two side panels. So for that, I'm just going to use my trimmer. So I'm going to cut the same color cardstock as I'm using for the inside. Now I'm going to cut two of them. They're each going to measure 1.5 by 5. Then I'll cut two pieces of pattern paper that measure 1.25 by 4 3/4. And then for the front of the card, I do want to add a little sentiment. So I'll use the same color cardstock again. I will cut a square to be 2 by 2. Then I'll cut a piece of white cardstock for my greeting. That'll be 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use my maker. I'm going to choose make. I'm not going to save the project. Now my machine is not connected, so it may not show it, but we have mat 1 here. It'll be our two pieces here. Mat 2 is our cardstock. Then mat 3 is our cardstock for the actual base of the card. I'm going to cut everything out and go to the table and we'll put the card together. All right friends, we are back. We have our finished card here and all of our pieces. So I did go ahead and do my stamping. For the inside, I used one from Made It called Birthday Wishes, Happy Birthday. For the outside sentiment, I used this one from Life's Craft. It's called Best Wishes Sentences. And I stamped that in a paper tray in cocoa bean, which is the same as my cardstock. Alright, let's going to set all that aside, and we're going to start with this piece here. So we're going to go ahead and fold it on the inside. And then the other pieces here, you're going to do a mountain fold. Okay, so it looks like that. Then we have these corner pieces. Just go ahead and kind of push those in on both ends of that. And then I kind of just bring them in and fold them down. Very easy to do. So we're going to push them in. Then I take it and I just squish it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and reinforce all those scar marks. So I'm going to work on this outside piece first. Then the inside. Inside on this one. Okay. Now those little ones you really can't reinforce too much, but what I'm going to do is push them in, squish them down, take the other end of my bone folder and just go over it this way on the outside. And then do the same for that one. Squish them. Okay. So all that is done. Alright, now we have our pieces. So we have these pieces here. Now you'll see two of them are larger than the other two. So I'm going to find the two that match. Okay. So I'm going to set that one aside. So I'm going to use the two larger ones for the inside. Just kind of eyeball it. I'm going to get my glue ready. I'm using Art Glitter Glue. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of lay it here like that. Okay. And go ahead and put some adhesive on the back. Alright, I'm just going to put this one back where I want it to go. I can just kind of butt that one up to it. Alright, and do the same for the other side. Okay. Alright, now we have the other pieces. Now I was going to use a purple cardstock because I haven't used purple in a while, but I thought the pattern paper I'm using is more purple than it is pink, so I thought it would be just like a washout, so I went with pink. Alright, just kind of line these up where they're going to go. And then we have the other one. Now I chose not to do all those little triangles. You can do that if you want to. For me, it was just too much work and it didn't really add a whole lot to the card. Plus I think it hides the brown cardstock and I really wanted that to show as well. Alright, so we have those. Now we have this piece. I did cut 2 of these and I just used my trimmer. These are 1.5 by 5. No sense having the Cricut cut it, we can cut it on our own. Alright, they're going to go on the very edge right here. Try to get them straight. Then we have one for this side. Alright, this is definitely going to be a card you want to hand deliver because it's going to be pretty thick with all these layers of cardstock plus when it's folded. Alright, so we have all that. Now, let's go ahead and take our inside piece right here. For that, I'm going to use my advanced tape glider. You, of course, can have Cricut draw outy message on the inside. Alright, we're going to bring that in here. And that just layers inside that pink. Now I'm going to flip it over because we have the piece for the back that we can write our personal message on. And we can adhere that down as well. Right back here on this back panel so nobody sees it when the card's open and displayed. Nobody sees your personal message. Alright, now we have the paper to go on the top of that. And I cut the paper to be 1 1/4 by 4 3/4. So 1 1/4 by 4 3/4 was the pattern paper. Okay, then we have the other side. On this side. Okay, so the card is done for the most part, but I thought it needed something on the front. So now I have another piece of that pink cardstock. This is 2 by 2. And what I'm going to do is kind of close this and just put it on the front here in the center where I think it's going to go. And I'm going to kind of hold one side, flip it over, leaving that piece of pink there. Take my pen and draw a little line and then like a squiggly right there. So I know on this side to put my glue. And let's bring this back over. Put our glue right here on this edge. Okay. I'm going to close the card and then again kind of recenter it and my glue should be fine to go. Just make sure I'm straight. Okay. I can see my pen mark, so I'm going to switch that down a little bit to hide the pen mark. And then go back up and just make sure I'm straight. You can, of course, go crooked if you want to. Alright, so we have that. Now, my little greeting, I'm going to pop that up. I'm just going to use 4 foam squares. And again, this is definitely going to be a card you want to mail because it is really thick. Alright, give all them a squish, then take the backings off. Our card is finished. So really fun, unique, fancy fold card that definitely has that wow factor when it's standing up. I'm just going to put my little message on. You can, of course, add string or twine as well to kind of keep the card closed, but like I said, when you hand it to somebody out of the envelope, it'll look like that, and then when they're going to open up, it has that wow factor. It sits beautifully. And my friends, that is it. That is our card today. A little fancy fold card. So we have that one, and we have that one there. Any questions at all, please let me know. As always, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.